Pokemon has been very mysterious lately, or rather we are only just recently uncovering a lot of the secrets it's been hiding over the generations. One of these secrets involves the book seen in the third Pokemon movie, The Mystery of These Unknown. Today, let's see what we can do to solve this mystery and perhaps uncover a secret message from Generation 2, predicting the current generation. This video is brought to you by the amazing Displate.
Metal is so nice.
If regular posters are pretty neat, Displates are cosmically cool.
Ooh, it's so great.
The way the light bounces off of them, the way they seamlessly hang with a magnetic panel you stick to the wall so you can swap plates whenever, the way the colors pop, and the way their printing is just pure quality, it's all so gorgeous. To be honest, when they first approached me, my expectations weren't all that high. I figured their prints were going to be like those cheap, flimsy metal prints you find at cons all the time. But when they arrived, these blew me away. These are fantastic, excellent quality, and they have art of all kinds for all sorts of interests. And by using the link in the description, you not only support your own home decor, but you also support this channel directly. So a massive thanks to Displate for supporting this channel by sponsoring this video. Check out the link at the top of the description and use this coupon code to get 20% off. Hello, and welcome to this corner of the universe. In the third Pokemon movie, we are shown the true power of the unknown. Just like in the games, these Pokemon are weak. Some of the weakest and most worthless Pokemon there are. Besides Wishy-Washy. Which, come to think of it, just like Unown, also get good when they're in large groups. Huh. I smell a theory there. But all jokes aside, when in large groups, the Unown become the most powerful, being able to literally change reality. It is revealed that they exist in another dimension of reality, a sort of fourth dimension, so to speak. And in this dimension, they hold together the fabric, the very foundation of space and time for our third dimension. This is further evident when Palkia and Dialga, the Pokemon of time and the Pokemon of space, are fighting, and when their attacks hit each other, they rip open the fabric of space and time, the very fabric of reality, and as a result, Unown fly everywhere, as they were hit by this trans-dimensional blast. But back to the third movie. In it, we are also shown a special book. An old book, too. It's a book containing various artworks, and it is stated that these artworks are the artist's interpretations of what some never-before-seen legendary Pokemon may look like. The first page we are shown is the page with the Unown, and then a page with the second-generation legendary beast Entei, then a page of spiking crystal towers, then a fairy, and then a sun legendary over a tropical island filled with hibiscus flowers. Curious, because that's what Pokemon Sun is. The Alola region is based on Hawaii, which is famous for its large number of hibiscus flowers, and it's where the Pokemon legendary of the Sun lives. Though this looks nothing like Solgaleo, remember, this book is an artist's interpretation of never-before-seen Pokemon. And now get this, before Gen 7, the generation of Sun and Moon, we had Generation 6, the generation that gave us the Fairy typing. The page before the Sun legendary in the book was the page with the Fairy. But what were these Unown doing? Well, that's part of the mystery we are solving today, but that's not all. It's going to get even more interesting as we go along, trust me. So first, let's jot down some notes here. The Unown here are in the shape of an atom, or rather how artists depict atoms. There is this old robed man here, and there are Greek pillars in the background. And beyond holding the fabric of reality together, Unown are also famous for each one of them depicting a letter of the English alphabet, which is based on the Latin alphabet. And this is actually the first thing we can look at when trying to figure out if this image means anything. So here is a diagram of this art piece we made, and here is the official decryptor from the Pokemon Strategy Guide. Going back and forth, we wind up with these letters here. So now that we know the letters, does it say anything? going through their rings, going left to right, right to left, up or down, spelling Azoth, drawing the Arceus symbol. It's nothing. Nothing. Though, if you look at each ring as a line, you do start to get some alphabet chunks. Like here, PQRS. Here is an NOPQR. Here is an XYZ followed by an A, as if the alphabet ended and then began again. All in all, though, it's just some chunks of the alphabet strewn around. There are some stray letters, not around any other alphabetically adjacent counterpart, and there are also some duplicate letters. But I doubt this is trying to actually spell anything. But here is an interesting tidbit. Note how of all of the letters of the alphabet, only one letter is missing. G. Why G? There are duplicates of other letters and plenty of blank spaces. They could easily have fit a G in there. The reason this is especially strange is because at the time, the G unknown was the most important unknown. It was the mascot unknown. Official unknown artwork would feature the G unknown until late Gen 3, early Gen 4 when it switched over to the F unknown. But this movie was made in the middle of Gen 2, so at the time, G had no reason to be left out, and every reason to be the one that they first would consider putting in. So what's up with that? Well, maybe there is a G. After all, we can't see whatever is behind this robed man. So it's there, perhaps, just blocked off. But then why is that? Well, before I answer that, I first need to leave a logic trail for you to follow. So first, let's also look at those other notes we took at the beginning of this video. There are Greek or Roman pillars in the background, and the unknown are in the shape of an atom. Well, first, in all of Pokemon, where do we see pillars in this style? Two places come to mind. One is the Pokemon League in Unova, but I see no connection to that one at all. But the other is Spear Pillar in Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Do you know the origin story of the Pokemon world, how it was formed, how it was created, or at least how the legends say it was created? According to myth, Arceus, the god of the Pokemon world, first created Spear Pillar, and then formed the rest of the Pokemon world around it. From Spear Pillar, out. It is also stated that Arceus used its 1,000 arms to create the world, but Arceus is not a squid, so perhaps 1,000 arms isn't in the literal sense of arms, but rather it means the other definition of arms being short for armaments, and thus it may have used 1,000 unknown as armaments to create reality, to create the Pokemon world from Spear Pillar out, as that is what unknown do. And how do you start creating a world? By creating the first atom. Remember that missing G? Well, Arceus is the god of the Pokemon world. Perhaps this G is behind this old robed man, as a means of signifying that he is God. After all, he looks much like how Roman paintings depicted the Judeo-Christian god. And remember, this book is an artist's interpretation of what some never-before-seen Pokemon may look like. The artist may have thought that God must be pretty smart, so God is most likely human, so he drew him as an old dude. So here, God, or Arceus, is creating the Pokemon world with the power of the unknown at Spear Pillar. But how would the creators of Pokemon known about all of this Generation 4 creation myth stuff if they were only in the Gen 2 games? I hear some of you typing in the comments. Completely forgetting about the Sun Legendary over a tropical island with hibiscus flowers, which is right after a fairy. Here's a fun fact for you. There are even a few Gen 4 Pokemon designed before the first Pokemon game came out. Caracosta comes to mind. Companies often plan things way in advance. Tech companies like Apple and Microsoft have famously stated they have the next 20 to 50 years planned out. And in Game Freak's case, it's easy to say that they planned out, at the very least, the basics of the next many games and filled out the details later. Of course, sharing their design notes with the anime studios, as we know they do. Anyway, if these unknown are in the shape of an atom, could we perhaps figure out which atom it is? There are a few different ways we can go about this. Of course, there's the idea of counting the unknown, and then maybe also including these extra dots that they've included. But then comes the question, do we estimate the number of unknown and dots behind the center of the atom? I'd say not. Usually, when an artist is making a diagram of, say, an atom, they make sure everything is visible, especially in the case of alchemic illustrations or hieroglyphs. So, in all likelihood, no unknown are back behind here. They are all up front. Though I'm still inclined to believe that that G is back there. Averaging out the distances and everything, there is definitely an unknown right there. There has to be. Trust me. But then, how do we treat these unknown and dots? As electrons? Do we then treat these inner ones as neutrons and protons, or do we just treat them as more electrons? There are way too many possibilities of how you could interpret this. But we went ahead and figured out every single one, and they all point to an element on the periodic table, because of course they do. But most of the elements it ends up being are meaningless in terms of alchemy or creation or any sort of mythology. Most of the time they were things like barium and rubidium. Another possibility leads us to copper, though, which is one of the 7 planetary metals in alchemy, but it has nothing to do with creation or archaeus. However, of course, saving the big one for last, if you look at the atomic mass, you get phosphorus, which is very, very interesting in terms of alchemy. Light was often used by alchemists to represent spirit, aether, the power of God, and the power of creation. Phosphorus's ability to glow in the dark with phosphorescence, along with the element's ability to ignite spontaneously when in higher purities, as well as it being highly reactive with the hydrogen molecules in the air, led many to believe that it was distilled and concentrated spirit. Hennig Brand was the famous alchemist who discovered it, and he was attempting to make the Philosopher's Stone when he did so. But instead of being able to turn lead into gold, or create a Philosopher's Stone and gain immortality and the god power of creation, he instead learned how to purify phosphorus. But that didn't stop him from thinking and, of course, writing down that he was close. He had found purified spirit, or rather, he found out how to craft the creation power of God. He was so close to the Philosopher's Stone, or so he thought. But in this case, phosphorus then came from then on to symbolize the power of creation in alchemy, which just so happens to be what this god figure in place of Archaeus is doing here with this unknown atom mess in the shape of phosphorus, possibly. But was that the intent with this picture, or is this just a happy coincidence? I'd argue that based on all of the other alchemy-related things in Pokemon that just happen to perfectly line up, when there are hundreds of coincidences that all point to the same thing, that Pokemon is inspired by real-world magic and alchemy, there's a good chance that it was intentional. But that intentionality, if that's a word, is still just theoretical. And I do think that it's a pretty fun exercise, for sure, to get all into conspiracy theorist mode like this. So, tell me your thoughts down below. And thank you so much for watching. And until next time, don't forget to click the bell icon, because that's using your noggin. Also, check out Displate with the link in the description. These things are way cool, and they have way more of them down there that are even cooler. It's fantastic. Check it out. It helps support the channel. Thanks a million.